Her message landed on my screen while the applause still echoed around the hall. Not from her, from security. "Sir, you need to step aside. Your wife says you're not on the guest list." My wife. My wife of 4 years. The woman whose entire law school tuition, every term, every book, every missed rent had quietly drained from my accounts without a single complaint. The image still burns behind my eyes. Her in her black graduation gown, champagne in hand, standing with her classmates, laughing. Laughing as the guard approached me, laughing as her father pointed at me like I was an inconvenience. "You don't belong here," she told them. And then, just loud enough, "He wasn't invited." Her father didn't even bother lowering his voice. "You really thought you were welcome?" Something in me stopped. Not broke, just froze. A clean, clinical halt. This wasn't anger, this was clarity sharpening itself. I didn't defend myself, I didn't ask why. I simply stepped back, let the guard guide me toward the exit, and typed the only 4 words I could manage without setting myself on fire: "We need to talk." She didn't reply. Not that night, not the morning after. But her silence told me enough. Something was wrong, deeply wrong, and whatever it was, it had already begun long before the guard ever touched my arm. I replayed every detail of the past year as if I were auditing my own life. The late-night study sessions, the sudden distance, the way she guarded her phone like it held her pulse. And then, the part that kept looping, the way she looked past me that night, not at me, past, as if I had ceased to exist in the world she now lived in. I had funded everything for her, $950 every month, $5,200 each term. Not as a favor, as a belief, my belief. But she had stood there, smiling, shining, celebrated. And when I stepped into her field of vision, her expression shifted. Not guilt, not fear, just irritation. Like I was the one who had walked into the wrong story. Her father's laugh replayed too, sharp, unfiltered, as if he'd been waiting for that moment. "You really thought you were welcome?" Why would he say that? Unless I wasn't supposed to be part of that world anymore. Unless someone else already was. The logic was simple, ugly, inevitable. Infidelity doesn't start with sex. It starts with exclusion. And she had excluded me from her triumph, the moment that was supposed to be ours. Maybe I wasn't part of her victory because I wasn't part of her future. Maybe someone else was. And if that was true, I needed proof. Not accusations, not scenes, proof, cold, final, undeniable. I began quietly. Phone records, old messages, social media tags she forgot to mention. Patterns emerged, names repeated, times overlapped. Then I found the photo. She wasn't in it, but he was, a classmate, one she had once described as barely a friend. Yet he stood in the graduation hall, arm around her waist in other posts I found later. His captions always the same flavor of intimacy. "Proud of you. She earned this. She deserves everything coming her way. Everything." I froze the screen. This wasn't just casual friendship. This was presence. A presence I no longer had. Still, I didn't jump to conclusions. Suspicion is emotional. Proof is clinical. So I dug deeper. Her bank statements showed things I'd never noticed before. Hotel charges during study weekends, split bills with suspicious timing, rides to places she never mentioned. I didn't confront her. I smiled when she came home. I made breakfast. I asked about her day. Inside, I was dissecting every breath she took. Quiet investigation is a kind of surgery. You remove feelings first, then cut. The final slice came 3 days later. Her phone pinged next to me on the table. An accident, a slip, his name, a message. "Tonight, no more hiding. You promise?" She walked into the room just as I finished reading it, and for the first time in months, She looked afraid. Not because I was angry, because I wasn't. I didn't shout, I didn't ask, I simply placed her phone on the table between us. Screen up, message open. She stared at it like it was a loaded gun. Her lips parted, not to confess, but to search for a script. There wasn't one. I slid a folder toward her. Printed phone logs, screenshots, financial discrepancies, all arranged neatly. She reached for the documents with trembling hands. I watched her read. Every page loosened another piece of her facade. Her voice cracked first. "Please, wait, I can explain." But I wasn't waiting. I already knew. I leaned back in my chair, calm, still. Her panic grew in the silence. The truth lay between us now, heavy, undeniable, suffocating. And she realized something. I hadn't come to argue. I had come to end something. I pushed one last envelope toward her, a notice of separation. Already signed, already filed. Her breath stopped. What is this?" "My exit," I said. "Simple, clean." She reached for my hand, instinct, desperation, but I pulled away. "You lied," I said. "Not just about him, about who you became." "No, please, just listen." "You told them I didn't belong," I whispered, "and you were right." Her face broke. That was the revenge. Not rage, not punishment, just the realization that I had already let go. She expected tears, a scene, begging. Instead, I gave her silence, a silence she couldn't fight. I stood up. She stayed seated, small, collapsed. When I opened the door to leave, she finally whispered, "Don't go." But I already had. Hours before, when the guard touched my arm. I walked out into the evening air, feeling it settle into my lungs like something clean. People think heartbreak shatters you. They're wrong. Betrayal is colder, sharper. It carves you open and leaves the unnecessary parts behind. Everything felt lighter. I didn't look back, not once. Some stories don't end with forgiveness. Some end with clarity. And mine ended with a truth so quiet it almost sounded like peace. She never deserved the man who funded her future, but she'll remember the man who walked away from her present.